For a few years now, we've been joking around about the next big raid Shadow Legends killer, and I firmly believe King Arthur Legends Rise is that game. We're going to do a 2-week review. This is early access. If you want to play, you can actually play before global launch with a video I did last week, so go look for that or come hit us up on Discord. My Discord is the King Arthur Legends Rise Discord. There is so much going on in here. Even their official Discord, everybody comes to join us because we are so active. We have all the bosses, we have all the heroes, we have all the strategies here, and we're here to help you. If you have any questions, come over and ask us. We have 14 clans right now, and some of them are the top 3 on the servers, on all the servers. So come and join us. It's so much fun to play with people that are enjoying it with you. The graphics in this game are top tier. It's 100 out of 10 when it comes to graphics. There's really nothing that can compete with Unreal Engine 5. The amount of detail, you should be playing on the PC client whenever you get a chance, or playing it on a big tablet. If you're playing it on your little teeny phone, you really can't appreciate the kind of detail that this game brings. From their animations to the aesthetics that they're choosing here with King Arthur Legends Rise, it just really is amazing what they've done. And when you see the combat effects, everything is very smooth. I'm going to go over the pros first, and then we're going to hit on the cons. And I do want you to tell me what you think are some issues with the game and what you love about it as well. But if you're going to tell me the issues are stamina and gold, try to bring me something else with that. I get it. We're supposed to do the pros first, but I get it with the gold, I get it with the stamina, and I think that will be addressed at global launch with more events and more content. The shard shop is crazy. I can't believe this game has the ability for us to be able to pick up any hero and any weapon we want. I probably need to backtrack and talk about how awesome this game is with weapons on heroes. Like, each individual hero has 3 different weapons for each of the element types. And if it's a rare or a legendary, it'll change what those abilities are. Not necessarily their basic ability, but their second ability and their third ability. It makes the game tons of fun to play with a lot of variety. And then for you to be able to get these, if you don't have them, you can save up and get them. Now, for free to play, you're not going to save up and get a legendary for a really, really long time. But the rares are so good, and there's a lot of cool different rares. And if the hero pops up in here, you'll probably want to pick it up. If it's somebody like Bond's wind weapon over here for the relics. If it is Rosaire's fire relic, the girl with all the blood in her face, the crazy one. There's a lot of other ones too, so keep an eye out here in the shop for the ones that really matter, and then get rid of the heroes that you're not using. And don't try to do their chivalry. Talking about chivalry, the chivalry system in this game is definitely different than anything I've ever played. Like, having this system for duplicate copies of heroes is really appreciated. It's not just the legendaries. Any game I've played before, it's always been, okay, only if you get an additional copy of a legendary do you get to do something cool with it. It's not that way here. Even your rares, which are epics in this game, if you don't know, are able to get some really cool augmentations to their abilities and some stats. So this is doing some changes to the ability. This will as well. There's quite a few. It's different. It's like different on each of these heroes, and some of them are quite crazy. They really changed the profile of that hero to make them better, like much, much better. So I really appreciate that. The rewards for the Forbidden Dungeon story mode, that we get Morgan for free when we start, it's great. Everybody gets Morgan. She's pretty much really the strongest hero because she's doing such crazy debuffs to make it so we can do speed runs, to make it so you can actually get past content. We'll do a video on Morgan soon, because I feel like the game is really too much about her because without those debuffs, it's actually pretty hard, and I think it's strange to balance a game around those kind of debuffs. But you get Morgan for free. She is somebody that you should always focus on. If you're not playing her right now, if you gave up on her because they give her to you for free, you need to go back and put everything you have into her and keep playing her on your teams. She is massive. She's game changing. All the rewards we get from story, these are like, this is for legendary passive skill ups, and I've never purchased any of this. This is just for me going through normal story, hard story, and now I'm starting hell, and it's all free. And I haven't even done much of the adventure mode, and this game has an adventure mode too, to where you go through, and it's not just your normal story. This takes no stamina. You're running through a big story now if you want to pay attention to it. A lot of puzzles and quests. And it's free. It's just something you do when you run out of stamina or when you want to progress and build your castle up higher. It's really good. Like the way that they've designed this game for you to have short-term and long-term goals, they've done a great job of that. We've got pack deals in here that I think are the best that I've ever seen. And the reason is because they're small. They're $1 to $10. They've got a lot of, $50, $100 ones, but the $1 to $10 ones are so good that a lot of people will get them, like me. And I'm being bombarded with them. And my bank is slowly shriveling because I'm getting all these $5 deals, $10 deals, but they're such good quality, like 50 cents or lower per summon, and a lot of gems to go with them too. So if you converted those gems, crystals, over to summons, along with those summons, it'd be lower than 50 cents a summon. And the rate to get a legendary here is 1.67%. It's a weird number, I know, but 1.67 cents to pull a legendary is higher than most games I play, along with a pity system at 60. Raid Shadow Legends pity system is like 200 and something. This is a pity system at 60. And then you get to exchange them in, like I showed you earlier, for things that you do not have. I think this game is very fair when it comes to free to play. Over time, you're going to be able to get what you want. And the only reason why free to play would think it would be hard is because the game is challenging. There's a lot to do, and it's kind of frustrating at first because you're not sure where to focus because you have limited stamina. And that's, again, something that I think they're going to address at global launch. I think Wick said in my Discord that pretty much you spend all your stamina trying to do the daily things you need to do, the things that will get you your daily reward. And by the time you're doing that, you have very little stamina left. So if you want to come over to some other dungeons, even something like the favorite dungeon, which is very strong to unlock more gear slots on your heroes, you might not have a lot of stamina to do that. You don't lose stamina when you fail something, so you can push all the time. You can try and see if it works. I love that about a game. There are a few games that I've played, I think God's Raid most recently, that doesn't do that. I don't understand games who don't give you your stamina back. If you fail, you should always get it back, and you should encourage the player to always push and try new things out. 3 times speed and 3 times run. This is the biggest quality of life that I really can't believe this type of game has. Could you imagine Raid having the ability to do a 3 times run? Now, you do have to 3-star it on story mode. You have to beat it when you're fighting a boss, of course, the first time. But once you beat like stage 9 of a boss the first time, you go back in there and fight it again. And when you queue it up, you can do 3 times runs. And then you can also do repeatable 3-time runs. I really only thought when they announced that we would get 3 times the reward for 1 run for just doing story. But it's for everything we do. It makes it so convenient. It actually is a really good balance between not making it, like they couldn't do 100 times run. Like, why would you want to come in with a whole bunch of stamina, do 1 run for the day and be done? It's got to be additional runs still, because you're trying to make speed teams to make things faster. You're trying to make your teams better and better. So you wouldn't want to do that. But 3 times run is really good. A lot of times you're just going to do that 1 run, get 3 times the reward and be done. But if you're farming a boss, you might queue that up for 10 runs, but you're getting 30 times the reward. There are definitely an overwhelming number of bosses to focus on once you start unlocking them all. It's really crazy the amount of bosses we have. And it's fun. There's a lot of strategy on these bosses. There's a lot of different teams, a lot of different specific heroes that we need to beat these bosses. And I really enjoy it. So for me, I love it. And again, it just goes back to that starting process. Like, where do I go when I first start? What am I unlocking? What should I really focus on? Because I have limited stamina. But once you have enough stamina to do whatever you want and have some fun with it, you love it. Because I've been buying stamina quite a lot. I've been trying to level up everything. This game is ready for global launch. It's been ready for global launch. It was in beta a year ago. They took it away, and for 8 months they worked hard on it, and they've actually brought us an amazing game. I did not think the changes they would make would be like this. They totally revamped everything. So if you haven't played, get on this game and start playing with this. When global launch happens, I can tell you, everybody's going to be playing this. By all the raid players, all the Watcher of Realm players, any other turn-based gacha game or gacha game that has the medieval dark fantasy type style like this, they are going to love it. The cons about this: yes, stamina and gold. I do think they're going to work on that with new events, with new content, and with new things at global launch, and I don't think it's going to be as big as a problem. Now, gold has always been a problem on any game I play. It just is that way in the beginning because you're always gold starved, and then at end game, you're swimming in gold. You got so much gold, you can do anything you want. So I don't think that that's different than other games that we've played before, and they have the analytics. If they need to give us more gold, they'll give us more gold through events. It does cost to swap gear in this game, and people have a problem with that, even though it's very low. Everybody says, yes, I understand it is very low to swap gear, but it's still annoying, and I agree with you. If it's so low, let's just get rid of it. Or even make it to where it's like 10 gold or very, very low gold. I have run out of gold before, and I didn't have the 1,000 to swap gear or the 500 or whatever cost I was doing at that time. Like, this is a 5-star piece going over to a 4-star piece. So if I did this, it would cost 1,000 gold. In the grand scheme of things, again, that's nothing. It's lower than most games. And once we start playing more and have a surplus of gold, that won't be an issue. If they want to remove it, I would not have a problem with that. The only other gripe I've got about this game is that too many enemies control you. And I had this back in beta, but back in beta, all the bosses did that, and now all the bosses are great. I love playing all these bosses. We know what they're going to do. They don't come in here and stun us and confuse us and provoke us all the time like they used to do in beta. Now they're just really good bosses with really good boss mechanics that we fight here that aren't extremely crazy, except for these guys. These guys actually do a lot of control. I've got no problem with a lot of control. I have no problem coming in here in the big tower mode, and these guys are constantly provoking me and taunting me over and over. But you've got to give us heroes that can remove that. It's very hard to find good heroes that can remove abnormal status effects. That's what they call them here. Those stuns, those provokes, those fears, those sleeps, and they have too many heroes that do that. So when you come into somebody like this Niklaus guy that's always stealthing himself and provoking everybody, it's not just him with some generic guys with him. It's him with people that shield up, with also people that provoke, also people that fear you and stun you. And it's happening all the time. And I know here at level 50, you could just get stronger and power through it. But I'd rather have a strategic way to do it, because later on, once we get up to higher levels, we're going to need heroes that can remove abnormal status effects. And these kind of bosses here that do it a lot just don't make a lot of sense because we don't have those heroes. If we have a counter to it, I get it. No problem. We bring in that counter. Even if that counter is not 100% reliable, we put them in high resistance so that we make sure that they don't get stunned, slept, feared, confused, brainwashed, all those things that can happen to us. Because if they do, then it's no good. They can't remove it then. They can't cast their skill. So we need high resistance to be able to work, and then we need them to be able to remove it at a good percentage, not a low percentage chance to remove it from our heroes. We need somebody with a good percentage, then I'm okay with it. But currently it's too hard for players to get a good hero along with a good relic, one of those 3 weapons that actually has abnormal status block or abnormal status remover. And then if you're lucky enough to get Guinevere, she's got a special ability that can block for a certain number of rounds. But after that, that falls off too, and you can still then just get chained abnormal status effect. And it's not cool. I do not enjoy that happening without a good counter. For me, King Arthur is still 10 of 10, even 20 of 10. I've got an idea of other game modes they're bringing, other game modes they had in development before, and what they're trying to do with this. Plus, it's run by Netmarble, who's been running Solo Leveling Arise, and I've been playing that game, and I see how they run it. It's been run smoothly. I don't know what other gripes people have about Netmarble games, but they make billions of dollars. Their games make billions of dollars. So the company does as well. They know how to run these games. This game will be run very smooth, and we're all anticipating global launch to be November the 30th to December the 15th. It's not going to be December 30th like the placeholder you see in the App Store. It's not. There's no way you're going to unleash a game on New Year's or anywhere near around Christmas or New Year. So it's going to have to be at least a week before Christmas. And we're thinking November 30th because this is what happened with Solo Leveling Arise. They had early access. They kept opening early access. And then they just came up and said, hey, global launch is coming in 2 weeks. And I'm really sure that's what's going to happen here because this game is solid. So come and join us in Discord. Come and play the game. Look at that video I did last week to show you how to play right now. I appreciate everybody out there for watching, for joining my Discord and talking with me. It's been a great time, and I'm excited for global launch. So come and join us.